I
Hi,
really just need to buy a fan for this podcast. Like, I just need to figure it out, honestly.
It
Oh,
honestly, I'm just really hot today, so my fan
yeah,
is full.
it's about 100 degrees here today still, and I hate it. It's October. It shouldn't be. But honestly, I'm using it because it's warm.
That's why I'm using it too, because it's hot in here. I turn my fan on, but I'm hot. Hey, everybody, I'm gonna stop gambling and rambling. Welcome to
Oh,
welcome to the Cup TV,
oh.
the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and we can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to
Got
give
it.
the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr.
Purr.
And I'm just drinking on some juice that I had with my brunch that I just ate right before the podcast because I was too lazy to get out of bed earlier. But what I also have is my cup mug because I never leave home without it. Ooh, panel full of cup mugs, panel full of cup mugs. Beer,
With a
Survivor Edition.
surprise. It's Claude.
Woo! Claude!
Stop trying to make Claude happen.
I
Claude
don't know who
is here,
Claude
and
is, but
Claude
I
is here to
support him.
stay, Lana.
I don't know why you're trying to make Claude happen, but all right. Anyway, you can get your cup mug, Claude not included, at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and we do ship internationally. So there are no excuses. Well, there are a few excuses. If your country is on fire, or underwater, our thoughts and our prayers are with you. We hope that you get out of everything safely and your family is safe and everybody is safe and sound. And once everything gets back to normal and you're ready to celebrate getting over this hump, celebrate with some cup merch. Period. That's it.
Hi, my name is Jack. I am your resident game design expert, and take some survivor legal advice here. If you are ever caught red-handed as seen, just say you were collecting an idol. Just say you were collecting an idol. Don't ask any other questions. Don't like do anything else. It's an idol. Anyway, I got some water because I need to escape this dumb bit somehow. Logan,
Hi. Hey. I'm looking at my face. Say something gay. Gay. I am drinking some coffee because it is my first day back from a work trip, and God, today has been stressful, including watching Survivor. I was very stressed watching this episode. But I've got a beautiful, my lavender holographic mug here today. We're drinking some hazelnut white chocolate coffee because I need something to keep me sweet, because otherwise I'm going to be very bitter about this episode.
Mm. Well, before we get into the bitterness of this episode, I will say subscribe to this channel right here. We appreciate all of you who have subscribed. If you haven't, you should do that right now. What are you waiting for? Just do it right now. Go ahead. Do it. Do it.
We
Thank you.
support you.
We see you. Thank you. We're
but
trying to
only if
get
you subscribe. And
only if you
otherwise,
subscribe.
like
No,
we wish the worst, the absolute.
have the day you deserve if you don't want to subscribe to this channel.
But if you're still watching, thanks for watching. If you're going to
Thanks.
keep watching, why not just subscribe?
Period. And we have 3 other channels that we would love for you to subscribe to on our channel. We are part of a network. So click on the link below in the description below. Click the description below. And then we have the links in the description below, as well as our audio podcast links if you want to check us out on the go, as well as our Patreon link. So if you want to support this channel and get early access to some shows across all 4 channels and exclusive content across all 4 channels, then you want to join our Patreon as well. So do that. Now we're getting into episode 4 of Survivor 47. And y'all, this was an episode that happened on our television screens. I will just say, they came back from tribal, and Luvu was like, so what happened? And Teeny was distraught. Teeny was like, I could not bring myself to vote for Asia. I just couldn't do it. So I voted for Saul, and now I have to do like damage control with Saul, and my feelings are hurt because he trusted me, and I really wanted to work with him, and I still want to work with him, and I don't know what to do.
But Teeny not voting out Asia is because they are what? A monarch.
Period. But
Period.
she comes. Rome is like, Saul, do we want to talk about this or whatever? So Saul was like, he was like, you voted for me. He's like, I voted for you, and you voted for me. And Rome was like, no. And he was like, you didn't. So who voted for me? And she was like, let's go talk about it. He was like, you voted for me. Oh. So we get a little discussion between Teeny and Saul. And Teeny was like, I didn't think this game was going to be this emotional. And I already got emotional attachments to people. I was very emotionally attached to Asia. And I didn't want to write your name down, but I didn't want to write your name down. I didn't think it was going to be that hard, but it was much harder when I got up there. And I'm so sorry. And so I was like, it is what it is. The game is the game. You did what you had to do. It's fine, whatever. But I was like, oh, Teeny. I'm very glad that she felt some remorse for voting out Asia, because at first I was like, I'm about to be very upset with Teeny, and I don't want to be upset with Teeny because I love Teeny and I don't want to be mad with Teeny voting out Asia. But then she didn't vote out Asia, and she did have some remorse even about the whole plan, because I bet in hindsight, 2020, they pretty much mad they didn't go with Asia's plan to begin with. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm just gonna say that right now. If they would have listened to Asia, all would be well in the world. But okay, we move. I'm just gonna say trust Black women. Period. Okay, that's it. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. But so after the conversation with Teeny and Saul, they just move on. Like, it just really moves on. We go into a new day, and we go over to, I think it was Tuku's tribe. Oh, yep, because that's when foolishness happened. But anybody want to talk about the foolishness that happened in Tuku? With Sue Bird.
I love Sue so much because she has a really good grasp on how she is being perceived.
Yeah.
She is being perceived as an older woman, someone that is a mother or grandmother figure to the tribe, that people can just tell the vote to, and she'll just go along with it. She just wants to make sure everyone is happy. But no, Sue is very much playing her own game, and she's full on weaponizing her own everyone's perception of her to do what she wants to do, and that is play a very upfront and forward game. And she basically decides, I mean, I don't have a problem searching for idols and no one's going to suspect it, so let me just go search for one. And lo and behold, she finds a beware advantage.
Yeah. And I want to say, because last episode I was a little bit harsh on Miss Sue. I was a little harsh on her, saying I don't know if she knows where she is, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to say I'm fully eating my words yet, but I'm nibbling at some of those words, because finally getting to hear from Sue what her strategy is, I'm on board with it. I think it's a really, really good strategy for someone of her age. And like you said, Jack, she has a really good understanding of where she fits in with the tribe and what her tribe thinks about her. And I think that's going to be very, very dangerous the more they keep her in the game. I think the more that they underestimate, and she even alluded to this a little bit, the more that they underestimate her, the more she's going to be able to continue to grab some social presence in this game. And the more she's just going to fly under the radar, potentially make it to a final tribal council situation and say, you all underestimated me. Here's every single move that I made in this game to get myself to where I am. So she knows where she's at. I'm gonna nibble at my words a little bit about that because she knows where she's at and she's playing a very good game. However, the way she handles this beware advantage, I don't think was the absolute best. But what I will say is I love this beware advantage. I
do
love
as well.
the way they did this, where you have to go find this rope in these vines, knock it down, and when she cuts that rope, paint splatter everywhere. And that's the kind of shit that I want for a beware advantage. That's the kind of energy I want with I want it to be such a risk that it's like Rome having to pour water on a piece of bark and then jumping into the well, and I do hope they are still enjoying their Rome flavored water. It's the like going out and like finding things in the middle of nowhere. It's Sue cutting this rope and dropping this thing with her idol, a fully powered idol, which I love that too. And seeing that now she has all of this red paint that she has to manage. Those are the kinds of twists with these beware advantages that I am obsessed with. And I love it. And I feel like Survivor is listening to what we want with these beware advantages. And so far this season, they've been paying off.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say, we'll talk about it a little bit later on, but I do think the journey that happened later on in this episode took some genuine notes of feedback from previous seasons.
Another good twist. Another good twist. We'll talk about it.
I will say though, there should have been a pang in Sue's mind of like, wow, this beware advantage is like very, very easy to get. Mm-hmm. I wonder where the catch is. Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is. Uh-huh. And I will also note that the scroll that it was under, that thing was soaked. That thing was soaked in red paint. Oh my god! When I had seen the preview episode, I was like, okay, that's clearly just red paint. I don't know how Tiana and the other name
Caroline.
is escaping me at the moment. Thank you, Caroline, who finds Sue almost after she's basically cleaned up the entire scene, which really impressive. They're like, wow, oh my god, are you okay? Is that blood? I was like, it's red paint. It's pretty clearly red. No. When you look at her with zero context and don't see any of the other paint, it does kind of look like dried blood, just a little bit. And Sue, I think this is where she kind of falls apart. Kind of stumbles through about 3 different stories of, I was playing with the machete, but I don't have a cut on my hand. Actually, I bit the back of my tongue. And Tiana and Caroline leave the situation like, that's suspicious. That was weird.
That's weird.
Like, specifically, I think Caroline said, she's scaring me.
No, that was Tiana.
That was Tiana. I could not remember. I was completely hedging my bets, but
yeah, Tiana was suspicious. Caroline, she's suspicious, but I don't think she cares because she knows whatever it is. If she found something or whatever she did, she would tell her eventually because they're so close. So I don't think Caroline was really like, I don't know what this is. Tiana, on the other hand, is like, I don't really know where I sit with these people. I feel like I might be at the bottom right, like maybe right over Kyle, but not too far from the bottom. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. And that looks suspicious to me. And like you said, Jack, after a while, the paint, after she cleaned up, it did kind of look like dried up blood a little bit. Like, okay, the paint, the redness dulled down a little bit. So it didn't look so paint-like. And it was just like, I could see where they were like, girl, you okay? But if I was Sue, I would have been like, yeah, I cut my eye being silly. I thought I was to go try to catch this little animal that was creeping around here, and I would go cut it and catch it and like kill it. But I cut my foot instead. And then I tried to patch it up with my, tried to clean it up and got blood on my hands. And then I touched my face. Y'all know how it go. I would have been playing around like, oh, I just cut my foot. So a place they couldn't see, because if I say my hand, they can't see the cut on my hand. So I'll say something like my foot, and then I just limp it. I'm like, oh, I just cut my foot. It's okay. I'll be all right. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You can call medical. No, I don't want no reason for medical to come. I'm fine. And I think that would have been a little bit more believable. And she could have just been like, y'all, I'm old and I'm a little clumsy. So it's weird. I tripped and hit my foot on a rock and the machete fell and cut my foot, y'all. I'm old and crazy. just let me be. I'm going to be fine. And maybe they would have left her alone. I just think she stumbled over and she got caught and she didn't know what to do. It was like, But who knows how you will react when you're in a situation like that, where it's like you got to think of something right off the top of your head. So, but Sue found an idol, got the idol. It's a full-blown idol. And
good for her.
Good for her.
And I mean, the only other thing that Sue really does, and honestly, like the only other piece that we get from Luvu for the whole episode, if I can think of it. Tuku.
Y'all are both combining Lavo and Tuku this whole episode. I'm like, they are separate entities.
My brain is not working. I'm just going to go red, yellow, blue at this point.
Works for me. Period.
But we do get Sue being like, yeah, I'm 45. I'm not that old. I'm 45. Sue, know that I say this with pure love and admiration, because on the show you're wonderful. I'm not talking about you off the show because I have various problems. But on the show you're lovely. If you look like you do at 45, you are a politician or an attorney, or you've been through some hell. And either way, no. I'm so sorry, but no.
Because baby, when we got that first little zoom in on Sue at the start of this episode, I was like, oh, jump scare. Like, oh girl.
Fucking
and that's no disrespect to Sue, because on Survivor, you're not gonna be looking your best at any point. But I was just like, oh, girl.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh girl.
I'm very annoyed, and this is for David, and I know you're listening. I'm annoyed with you for pointing out that she had tattooed eyebrows, because I did not pay any attention to that until you pointed it out to me, and now I can't unsee it. And I'm like, every time they do a close up of her, that's all I see. I'm like,
that's all I'm going to be able to see now.
Yeah, now that's all I'm going to be able to see. Oh my God.
You all are welcome, because David did it to me.
Thanks.
Now I did it to you.
Thanks, David.
And I'm going to hope I do it to all the people watching, because baby, that is all I saw the whole episode. And I was like, no, I could have gone my whole life and not realized that. But yeah, they are very much tattooed eyebrows. I was like, oh, girl. And they're not that great either. I'm so sorry, Sue. Girl, get your person to fix it. Anyway.
I was going to say, whoever you paid to get those eyebrows done, don't go to them again.
Tell them to fix it. But anyway.
Oh my God. Anyway.
So then we go to
on Tuku for
well, that's the wrap up on Tuku.
They're kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, because we got to go to Gata, because stuff is happening over there at Gata, and a lot of people are making mistakes at Gata. And I'm just gonna break it down like this: 3 people need to learn how to shut their doggone mouth. 3 people need to just not talk, because they talking too much. Number 1 is Andy. No, number 1 is Sierra.
Yeah.
So we have a conversation, because Sierra is still a little concerned about the other tribes thinking that her and Sam are dating, and that they might be a power couple. So she's kind of like, no, I'm just gonna try to nip that in the bud, just because why couldn't he be dating somebody else? Why gotta be me? It's not. And she's like, it's not, but whatever. But if people are seeing how close we are already, then I need to make sure that the women on this tribe know that we're not that tight, and I'm still want to work with you guys. I'm open, blah, blah, blah. So she goes off, hangs out with the women. They're talking, and they come up with an alliance, and they come up with a name. I was like, very Big Brother coded, are we? Because when do we have alliance names in Survivor? We don't. But okay. We got the Breadwinners Alliance for the women, because they're like, we're all bosses, we're all boss chicks, so we make our own money. We make the bread in our family, so bam, bam, bam. Breadwinner Alliance. Cool.
Cute.
Got it. Cute. It's cute. It's a cute alliance name. So I was like, work. So then she goes off and she tells Andy that, because she's still a little concerned if she wants to work with him or not. And she's like, I don't know if I want to. Sam wants to, but I'm not sure if I fully trust Andy or not. And so she's talking to Andy, and she's like, the girls are still trying to work with me, and I'm like listening to them, but I'm trying to figure out if this is going to be good for us. So she tells Andy that they came up with a Breadwinners Alliance. And he's like, oh, well, if she is telling me this, that means she really trusts me. And I only want to work with her more because she is throwing her other alliance under the bus by giving me their name. So she trusts me with this information. So I feel closer to her. And if I'm close to her and Sam is my number one, I'm going to go back and tell Sam what she told me. So he goes back and tells Sam that Sierra told him about the Breadwinners Alliance that the girls had formed. And he's like, and I think she trusts me because she told me about this alliance. So I think we're good to go to work together. Now Sam is like, wait, hold on. What? What alliance?
And really quick, Sierra does directly tell Andy, like, hey, do not tell anyone else this information. No, there's no need to spread it. Andy, while telling this information to Sam, said, oh yeah, Sierra told me not to tell this to anyone.
But I don't think she meant you.
It's just like, no, the word anyone includes Sam here.
Anyone. I was like, if she was testing you, which at first I thought she was trying to do, but then I realized that she wasn't. But I'm like, if she was testing you, you just failed, buddy. You failed miserably. Just, you failed. And he was like, so I feel, she told me about this breadwinner. So Sam was like, what? What breadwinner?
So then Sam,
he didn't even tell me about it.
Sam goes to Sierra and is freaking out. And Sierra's like, well, fuck, I guess I can't trust baby Andy. And it's like...
And Sam is mad because she didn't tell him about this alliance. And she's like, I didn't come up with the alliance. They came up with it and said and told me about it. He was like, that's not the point. I'm not mad because they started an alliance. I'm mad you didn't tell me about it. She's like, but I didn't start it. And I'm like, girl, you're missing the plot.
That's not the point. That's really not the point.
You are supposed to be his number one. And if his number one can't trust you to tell him about an alliance that you're in, it makes it look like you're playing right in the middle so you can figure out which side is going to win. And you can go play each side, which you were, which is fine if you didn't tell Andy. Because if you're trying to play the middle, you can't tell people you're trying to play the middle.
But hey, this whole situation means that my girls, Annika and Rachel, are in a much better position than they were. And honestly, those are the two I would rather see succeed out of this tribe. So for me personally, I love this. Let the three of them crumble. And like, could you imagine if the three of them just crumbled and all ended up voting like some weird way, and we ended up with like a 2 to 1 to 1 to 1 vote?
As much as I would love to be like, yes,
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's happening.
It's going to be just like, either what's going to happen is they're going to be like, fucking hell, I guess we have to work together here and we can deal with this after the fact. Let's fucking pin word of Annika or Rachel. or
Right.
they're going to pin Andy. There
Yep.
is, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
Well, wait. Does Andy still have his idol?
Andy has
Andy
no.
still-
He played
no.
Okay, no. I was trying to remember if
Sa-
Andy played his idol because
He
I
played
know
it the
two of
first
them were
tribal.
played.
No,
Yeah.
he didn't have an idol. Sam had the idol.
No, definitely not. Wait, okay.
No,
So
Sam had
now
the
I'm
idol
trying to
because-
figure it
I'll
out.
say
in my own
Andy
head.
did not have the idol because he put the beware bandage and then he lost it.
Oh, yep.
Sam
You are
had the
completely
idol.
right. Yep. That is.
Yep.
I know.
had remembered that the three people who were off their fucking rocker on
Mhm.
each tribe got the idol.
Mhm.
No, Sam just
No.
actually took it.
Sam had
Never
the
mind then.
Thank
Just
you.
hi. Forget the last minute. Thank you. Anyway,
But yeah, Sam has the idol, so he ain't going nowhere for a minute because they. Well, no, it's over now because he only used it once, and they've been to tribal.
wasn't theirs a 3?
His,
No. Wait.
his was
I don't
Gabe's is
remember.
3.
Gabe used his already.
I don't remember what's
Well,
happening
Julie,
then.
No,
because
everybody
I
had
don't
one.
think
Everybody
it's
did
relevant.
one. Everybody did one. Nobody did more than one.
No, Gabe did 3, but Gabe already
did
used
3
his.
and then burned it. Yeah, I do remember that because it was too obvious. But I think everyone else did 1.
One.
Yeah, and I mean it's already gone. So
Yes.
none of that matters.
None of it matters. But
Who cares?
who cares? So so Gata that was happening at Gata, and then at Luvu, here's where the foolishness starts happening. Because after Rome played his idol, everybody knows that an idol is back in play. And so the 4 of them decide that we want to make sure Saul does not get the idol. Because if he gets the idol, that's going to ruin the plan. And because they want Saul out next. Well, Rome wants Saul out next. And so they were like, this could happen if we just got to make sure he doesn't get the idol. So Rome decides that he's going to be the babysitter of Saul today. And he's just going to be everywhere Saul is. And Saul's like, are you just going to follow me everywhere? He was like, yep, I sure am. I'm going to follow you wherever you go. And so I was like, so everybody else could go look for an idol, but I can't. That's pretty much it. You find it, I'm finding it with you. And so I was like, so at one point he just stops. He was like, I'm sick. He's like, I'm not looking, Rome. I'm just going to get some water. And he was like, okay, I'm just going to get some water too. So he's like, oh my God, are you just following me everywhere? He's like, so if I go sit on the beach, I'm going to be sitting right next to you. It was the most aggravating, most annoying, most frustrating thing to watch. And I know it was probably times 100 to be Saul in that moment. Because in that moment, if it was me, Survivor would have had his first explosion because of fighting. Because I would have punched him in the face.
Yeah.
You are not going to do that to me. I am a grown person. You are not going to follow me around this camp. You are not going to sit and look after me like I'm a toddler. You're not going to do that to me. I would have punched him in the throat because after so much, I can only take so much. I'll be like, look, Rome, you pushing me to a point, and I really want to hit you right now. So I would suggest you would leave because honestly, I don't care that much about this show anymore at this moment. I will leave. I will leave if you stay in my face. Yeah. But I won't leave without punching you in the face.
Yeah, it basically Rome is basically guaranteeing like, hey, Soul, you're going home next. There is nothing you can do about anything. I will make sure that you are going home. And granted, Soul doesn't necessarily know that he's completely fucked here at the moment because Rome can literally just take his vote and work with his perfect final 2, who's always been working with him, and that's purely been shown in the show 100% with Genevieve. But they have 3 votes, and there is nothing anyone can do about it. But yeah, no, it's like, yes, this is an effective strategy to make sure Soul doesn't find an idol. You're also being a massive dick, and no one agrees with how you're doing this.
Yeah. And I will say this. I was hesitant to call Rome something last episode because I wanted to see one more episode. I don't want to assume that somebody is a certain way. Rome is a fucking bully. Rome is a bully. His behavior in this episode was disgusting to me. And he is childish. He is immature. And there is a line on Survivor. And he has gone so beyond the line that, like, genuinely, I agree with you, Lana. I probably would have also been expelled from the game. Because you cannot go around. This is a game, and I understand that for sure. You cannot go around stalking someone. He was stalking Soul on this island. And it is beyond disrespectful. And I understand that that is within the confines of the game. So there is no reason for Rome to be disqualified for this at all. And I acknowledge that.
No.
But what it is it makes me lose any sort of compassion for Rome. It makes me lose any respect for the game that Rome is playing, because objectively speaking, I will say he is playing a good game. He has advantages, he's put himself in the majority, and he is doing a good job at keeping himself in the majority. But the way he's doing it is disgusting and distasteful. Mm-hmm. And so I will have no respect for anything Rome does for the remainder of the time that he is on this season of Survivor. And that is just me personally. That is the way that I'm thinking. And if you disagree with me, say something about it in the comments. I don't care. But that is how I am going to treat Rome for the remainder of the time he is on this season. Because he has shown that he has absolutely no compassion or regard for anyone's feelings. And it is a game, but they are also human. And it beyond infuriates me the way that Rome treated Saul in this episode. For me, it is beyond repair about my feelings about Rome. And that's just where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to do my best to say as little about him as I can for the remainder of the time he's on the show. And if something bad happens to him, I'm sorry. I'm not going to have any remorse. I'm not. I don't care. That's just me.
Lana, go ahead.
Oh. Well,
I'll jump in after you.
Okay. I feel like, look, y'all, if you heard my rant last week about Rome, I am not the biggest Rome fan. I think he has some issues that I will not repeat again. I do want to say that I'm not going to say that he is beyond repair for me because of his actions that he took later on in this episode. It lets me know that there is a part of him that is remorseful and will probably can repair how I felt about him. How I felt about him about his actions toward Asia and TK. No, that's not changing. I still feel that way. Yeah. And I can still say that I can still feel that way about him, and that's fine. And how he went about Soul, I will still say that, and I still think the same way I think about him that I said last week. But I will say, I do think his game, as far as gameplay, he is not beyond repair. I think he could change my feelings about gameplay, period. Okay. Not about character and not about how he acts on this show, because no. But about the game, because he is playing a good game. He is playing a good game. He's making sure he's in positions where he is safe and he might get on folks' nerves, but they're not kicking him out. And he making sure they can't kick him out. So for game situations, I'm not going to count him out. But as far as his personality on the show, no, thank you.
And before you jump in, Jack, I'm really sorry. I just want to also acknowledge, because he does apologize to Soul later on. For me, that felt completely ingenuine.
I don't think it was.
And I understand that, and I
Some
respect
sort
both of y'all for that opinion. I respect both of y'all for that opinion, and I understand why. For me, it felt like his back was like up against the wall. He needed to do whatever he could, and he was going to apologize because he needed to, because he understands the kind of player that Saul is. I did not see any genuineness in his apology, and that's just me.
I think this. I feel like the first one when they did it on the beach. Yes, I will say I don't think that was genuine. I think him repeating it and saying it again at Tribal was more genuine. So I think. Oh,
I understand that.
Spoiler, y'all. Sorry, but whatever. I think
if you didn't watch the episode, go watch the episode because it is a good episode, and then come back and listen to us talk about it. But,
but yeah, I do think it was genuinely. He kind of realized that. Okay, yes. I was probably, like you said, Jack, probably a dick in that moment. But I do want to acknowledge, I want to give you some time to acknowledge to Logan something you said last week. So to clear the air, to make sure nobody has any questions, because you made a comment last week. So
I did. And it was that I was alluding to at the start of my conversation about Rome. Because I said there's something I wanted to call Rome, and I wasn't going to do it last week. And the word I was going to use is bully. And I just gave my whole explanation for that. Thank you, Lana, for giving me that space to talk directly about it. I am not insinuating anything specifically about this man, nor was I planning to say anything racially motivated about this man. I'm just saying he's a bully. I don't like calling people bullies. I was bullied my entire life. I don't like using that word because I've grown from those experiences and I've moved beyond it. But for me, in this viewing of this episode, Rome was a bully.
Absolutely.
And that's how I feel about it, and that's where I'm at with it. So,
okay.
Sorry, Jack. Go ahead, though.
You go ahead now.
I don't think Rome is in a good position anymore.
I
think directly because of the way he acts with Soul here, I think he loses that good position that he thought he had, or that kind of he did have. I think that most of the way that Rome is being perceived is we don't want to go against Rome because he has advantages. And that was the primary thing from both Kashan and Teeny. But they were also okay with working with Rome and Genevieve long term. In this moment, Genevieve is essentially like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Teeny's like, treat Soul like a human being, please.
Right.
And Kashan's like, what are you doing? And I think
Kashan is like, go ahead and do it. I think that's a good idea. I like seeing the pot stirred.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kashan is the instigator of chaos on this tribe, which I love, but unfortunately, he went a bit too chaotic with everything.
Yeah. But, I mean, honestly, if Rome did not have a steal a vote here, I honestly think that at the end of this episode, he goes home.
I agree.
The only reason he survives this episode is because on a tribe where you can 100% rely on someone to not vote you out, and if you have a steal a vote on a tribe of 5, there is nothing anyone can do except perfectly play an idol. That's it, because as we later find out, and honestly, as I kind of forgot, you need your vote to play Shot in the Dark. You need to be able to burn a vote to play a Shot in the Dark, which I forgot about, and that makes the whole giving out 3 potential steal votes kind of more annoying, to be honest with you, and that I have questions on. But yeah, no, Rome is kind of burning every single bit of his goodwill with everyone else, and I do not see him surviving this pre-merge, because I think Genevieve is smart enough to realize Rome is a sinking ship, and I don't want to be stuck on that long term.
Unless they win the rest of the challenges, and
unless they win the rest of the challenges, but Soul is not gonna. Soul flips immediately. Honestly, I think Teeny probably flips to any other tribe as well. So Genevieve can either stay with just Rome, and everyone probably at Merge is going to be sick of fucking Rome immediately if he makes it there. Or, I mean, she can flip and probably have a better shot at the game. So yeah, at least that's where I'm seeing where it's like sticking with Rome at this point. Yeah, it's good for this round simply because you cannot defeat him. But after this point, there isn't any problem. And I mean, I could easily see not to jump too far ahead, but next episode, either Soul or Teeny going, I am willing to play essentially Russian roulette with Rome, pin 2 votes on Genevieve. You can vote one of us two. We're just going to play Russian roulette, and you have a 50-50 chance of going home, and there's nothing you can do about it. Give him the exact same treatment that they just gave him.
Mm-hmm. But that can happen.
That can happen, but that is a next episode problem, and
we still have to
this
get
is
through
this
this
episode.
We
still have to get through the remaining shit of this episode.
Because there's a challenge, y'all. Let's get right to it. There's a challenge, and it's an obstacle puzzle.
Yay! Big cubes! Yay! I loved it. Big cubes.
I will say, though, it was more obstacle dexterity puzzle, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed seeing kind of 2 challenges that honestly could have been the end of a challenge in a normal way, being like, do both. Right. Go ahead. Do both.
We had the take the cube, roll it down, grab the keys, roll it down, get the build a square, throw sandbags through the square. If you knock the square over that you just built, you gotta start over. But you gotta get 2 sandbags through the square, clean on the barrel. Once you get that, you dig up some more keys, and then you have to go and open up the thing and then run and put the puzzle together. The fire puzzle. New fire puzzle. Ooh.
A new fire puzzle. Specifically new because Carson, you ruined it for everyone.
Carson ruined it for everybody. So now we get new puzzles. So we've got the new
God
fire
damn it,
puzzle.
Demon Twink.
And so we get off to a great start. Luvu is killing it. They moving. Tuku is right behind them. They are moving. Everybody's getting it. We all get to the puzzle all about the same time, almost.
Is this the closest we've seen, at least challenge this season, if not in the last couple of seasons, this is the closest that all 3 tribes have been to, like, they were all neck and neck in this challenge, and it was very entertaining to watch. I loved it.
It was very good. We had a couple of, lead changes, a lot of lead changes throughout the whole thing, and then we get to the end, and Gata, apparently it came out of nowhere and took it up and got to the puzzle first. Then Luvu got there, then Tuku got there, and they all putting this puzzle together. Rachel and Annika is on the puzzle for Gata. Rome and Genevieve is on the puzzle for Luvu, and Gabe and
Caroline
is on the puzzle for Tuku. And baby, Rachel and Annika killing it. Bam! Piece after piece after piece after piece. Just piece after piece after piece after piece. They getting it. They got it. And it's good. Like, they ate that up. I can't say it enough. They ate it up. They finished first. They get chickens back at their camp.
They
get chickens. That's the reward. You get chickens. They got 3 chickens. 3 egg-laying hens go be at their camp when they get back. Great on them. Tuku right behind them, putting it together. Done. They're done. They get 6 eggs from the chickens that laid the eggs. They get 6 eggs. Lava got not 1 piece of the puzzle together. Not 1 piece. Caitlin from Big Brother is like, thank you, somebody else sucks at a puzzle worse than me.
Literally.
Not one. Rome sat in that position and was like, peace, nope, peace, nope, peace, no. Didn't think maybe we should change and somebody else can find it. Maybe I'll step out because I'm not getting it. No, because he thought he can do it. I'm going to do it.
I do want to say, because I did listen to the eventual boot of this episode, and it was brought up what the hell happened during that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
All three of the people on the mat are like basically screaming at them like, please switch it up, do something different. Rome and Genevieve did not swap. It was both of them together that basically did not swap the strategy.
Just ridiculous.
That pisses me the fuck off. That pisses me the fuck off. I think, and I will say, I'm pretty damn good at puzzles. I am pretty good at puzzles. Puzzles are kind of my thing. But if I'm sitting at this puzzle and I look over and the other two tribes are already doing way better than me, I'm going to sit here and be like, someone swap in. I am not getting this puzzle today on this occasion.
Right.
And I'm going to have enough courage of my conviction to go, no, it ain't me today. Don't worry, it ain't me today. One of y'all jump in. Because we have seen Kashawn do very well with a puzzle. We've seen Teeny do well with puzzles.
I would have just swapped anybody on that day. But that was Rome's ego. He would not let it go. Mm-hmm. And Genevieve, I don't think she felt comfortable of doing it either. So her swapping would have made no sense either. So I just would have been like, could somebody else do it? Like from the mat.
Anybody else at this point.
Because this is not working for me. But you have to, like you said, you have to put your pride aside and say, okay, I'm just not getting it. And I'm not going to do it. But they just didn't.
Rome doesn't put his pride aside. That just doesn't happen.
Rome doesn't have pride. His pride is so heavy. His ego is so heavy. He can't put it aside. He can't lift it. But so they lose big time. Huge. The worst.
Not one piece on the puzzle.
Not one piece. And then, the shade of CBS survivors. The shade of Survivor after they finish and they send them on their way walking the walk of shame. They go to that done. If you want to be on Survivor and have Jeff Probst picking up the puzzle piece and putting it in I said, you shady. Shady
Jeff is back. Shady Jeff is back. And I love it so much.
And the best part of it is I remember distinctly seeing Rome pick up that piece on about 5 different incorrect ways and then toss it back.
He said, bro.
No, it doesn't work.
I said, Jeff says, if you want to be on Survivor and you think you can do it, I was like, you shady bitch.
You shady bitch.
I love it. Jeffrey. Jeffrey.
I love it.
Well played, Jeffrey.
You better eat up. You better eat that up, Jeffrey Probst.
He ate one down, Jeff Probst. I tell you.
Destroy him.
You know what? My stand card for this episode, Jeff Probst. Here you go, Jeff. There you go.
Look, Jeff Probst, step on me right now, because that was.
Oh my God!
I would say the same thing.
That was so good. I was like, I don't even know.
We all saw him. Hey, Jack, you can't say. We all saw him on 2.5 Men. We will all say the same thing that Lana said.
You know what? No, you got a point there. We all did see him on
thank you very much. Anyway.
I was just in that moment.
Oh my God.
I love Jeff Probst in that moment. In that moment, he was my man. I was like, Jeff, he was my man right now. That's so good. That's so good. But so they leave. They get back to camp.
But we're going on a journey, Lana.
Oh, we do have a journey.
Yeah. We are going on a journey, and Gata is in charge of the journey.
Yep.
So they picked Andy from themselves. Mm-hmm. We have Teeny going, and we have Caroline going.
Yeah.
And we talked about it earlier, but I want to talk about this journey because this journey was everything to me. This twist, this is a good twist.
This is very solid, and I will give the Survivor Flint team, because that is what we officially know them as now, the Survivor Flint team.
Oh, is that right?
Okay.
Found locations, items. There's something with an N.
Navigation.
There's
Navigation?
some video on the Instagram. I don't think it's that. I think it's something else with an N that's like something along the lines of items and twists. Basically, it's the game design team.
Okay.
I will give y'all credit. You made something that is actually time pressure that gives players a lot of agency and works as a really good dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you improve the advantage.
The Flint team, field of logistics, idols, notes, and twists.
Notes, that's the word.
Flint team, y'all ate here because they get to the beach. They read that they have to flip over the sand timer and read the note. But they decide they're going to do some talking first.
Let's chit chat first.
Good for them.
That.
Andy, baby Andy, baby Andy. Love it. This is where I was like, finally, I can see Andy as a strategic player because he goes in and he's like, yeah, no, I'm still not in a great position. He's playing down his game so severely that going into merge, I think Andy's going to be in a real good position. Caroline is kind of just very neutral about everything. There was a bros thing. We got rid of TK. There's not really a bros thing anymore, blah, 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 blah. And Teeny is straight up just like, well, it's Saul versus Rome. So we lead into the twist where they have to decide before the timer runs out, one person to lose their vote for the next tribal. If they can decide on one person to lose their vote at their next tribal, all three of them will receive an advantage. But if they don't agree, then they all lose a vote at their next tribal. I think Teeny, in the short term, is very smart here.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing what's going on at camp, I think they're very, very logical here, saying, I will go ahead and lose it, because no one is budging at first. But they're like, okay, I'll go ahead and lose my vote.
I think Caroline was just about to budge right before Teeny said
I think Caroline was just about to budge.
And seeing the amount of sand that was in the timer when Teeny opened that box, it looked like there was still about half of it left. I honestly think Teeny could have waited a good, obviously we don't know how much time is in there. My guess is probably 15 minutes or something similar.
Mm-hmm.
I think definitely Teeny could have waited and Caroline would have folded because she feels like she's in a decent position.
Yep.
But I don't blame her
right.
for their decision here because it.
And I think she's in an even better position now.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought all the white women that we couldn't tell apart from the first couple of episodes are now all kind of making a bit of a wave here, and I'm not mad at it.
Okay, no, we could tell apart Teeny.
We can definitely tell about Teeny.
No, I'm talking about the white women being Genevieve, Caroline, and Sierra.
Okay, no, in that case, no, you got a point.
Teeny's not white.
I was like, huh?
Let me be out here saying no, don't put that, Jack. Don't put that on me, Jack.
I was like, wait, hold on.
Teeny is a beautiful person of color. I'm talking about the
cool.
white women being Genevieve, Sierra, and Caroline all making a wave in this episode for three very different reasons.
Yeah.
But they all end up getting a 3-part amulet, which works in a different way to the other amulets, where they all have to be on the same beach, and they all, when all amulets that are still in the game are played together, it is a full idol, and they have to agree on playing it for the right person.
Right.
Or the same person.
Same person. It has to be, this. It has to, once, it doesn't work till they're all on the same beach. So once they merge, then it will be come into effect. If it's 3 of them together, then the idol, then it works for you have to come up to a conclusion with 3. If it's only 2 people, you have to come up with the conclusion of 2. If only one person is left, it is a full idol, and it has full idol power. So that is that. So they all get it, and they're all very excited and happy. And then they go back to the each camp, and everybody pretty much tells the truth. Like, this is what happened. Teeny's like, I lost my vote, but I got this amulet. It doesn't work until the 3 of us are on the same beach. And
I do want to specify with Teeny, though, it specifically does not get told to both Rome and Soul.
No.
However, because Genevieve knows, I assume it's eventually going to get to Rome no matter what.
Right.
I
Oh, definitely.
don't.
I don't think
Teeny
so.
would
No.
specifically have to tell. Teeny would specifically have to tell Soul because no one
Yes.
else is telling Soul.
Right.
I do want to give them props for really listening as to why the original amulets didn't exactly work.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Having an extra vote for all three of the amulets never would have been used. So no matter what, at least one person is going out. It's not
Yep.
nearly enough weight for that to occur.
Mhm.
With this, there's actually reason for the three of them to just come together and be like,
Mhm.
look, we can just work together and control this. And
Yep.
if one or two of them goes out, great, the other two just have more power, but they actually have incentive to come together instead
Right.
of basically being pitted against each other. And I
Mhm.
will give the team that they listened, and thank God, because after the first journey we had, no, after the second journey we had, because this is number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
After that second journey, I was very concerned they shut their ears.
Mm.
No, they just fucked up. They just fucked up once.
But once we get all of that together, we do have Rome going to Saul and was like, I have an ultimatum for you. Because you're going home. You're screwed if you don't listen to me. You're going home. But one way you cannot go home is if we will put the votes on Genevieve if you promise not to use your shot in the dark. You vote Genevieve, we vote Genevieve, and I will steal, because I'm stealing your vote. I gotta steal a vote. So I'm gonna steal your vote. But in order for you not to, if you give me your shot in the dark, I won't steal your vote. And so Saul is like,
No.
what?
What the fuck?
No.
The-
Right,
no.
the fuck?
No.
What? No, that's not. And
No.
he's like, are you threatening me, dude? He's like, it's not a threat, it's an ultimatum. He's like,
No, it
sounds
was
like
a threat, Rome.
It was a threat.
Just to be clear, ultimatums don't necessarily have to be threats. This ultimatum was very much.
This
a
is
threat.
much a threat. An ultimatum is either you stop hitting me or I'm calling the police. That's the ultimatums. Like, I mean, and I guess it could sound like a threat, but this was
Depending on how it's used, it
your
can.
tone.
Normally, it is a threat, and in this case, it is definitely a threat.
And his tone was so rude and disrespectful that it very much was a threat. And threat, ultimatum, pretty much the same thing I'm gonna say. But he was just like, if you don't use your don't use your shot in the dark, I won't steal your vote. But if you use your shot in the dark, if you try to use your shot in the dark, I'm stealing your vote. So either you go vote with us or I'm stealing your vote. So Saul is like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all, because you go steal my vote anyway. That's just, and if I'm already screwed, then
just to be clear, Rome intentionally went into this situation being like, I'm gonna give him the option of how he wants to go out. He can either give me his shot in the dark and he can be voted out normally, or he cannot give me his shot in the dark and I'm stealing his vote anyway, and I'm gonna vote him out with his own vote. Which okay. Sure, I mean, if you want to fuck him over again, and I mean, I guess if you want to be like, I don't want to give you the 1 in 6 shot at safety, which has only worked once because it is a 1 in 6 shot. Sure, whatever, but Rome's ego once again takes over.
It takes over. It was rude. It was disrespectful. It was like ill, but they move on, and so he's just like, no, that's not working. So Kishan is living it up here. He is salivating at the bit of possibly flipping this thing around, because he's like, what if we vote out Rome? Well, it only takes 2 of us, because if Teeny comes back without a vote, which is possible, which she did, which they did. It's just like, you don't know. We can maybe work things out. So Kashawn goes to Genevieve and like, what if we vote out Rome? let Rome steal Saul's vote and put 2 on Saul, and then in the revote, we all vote out Rome. And she's like, I mean, Rome would be very surprised by that. He's like, I know, right? We could do this. We could take him out. It'd be fine. I think we should do it. So he's like, that's the plan. So she's like, okay, that's the plan. So she's sitting there. Now, this is the woman. I know some of y'all could be like, who's Genevieve? If you hadn't watched the episodes, you only watched the first 2. Who's Genevieve? Genevieve's the one who got no edit the first 3 episodes, none whatsoever, no confessionals, nothing. We ain't get her nothing from Genevieve. But all of a sudden, Genevieve said, hold on, we're playing Survivor? Let me play. And she thought about it. I do
want to flag you on one thing before you go into that, because there is one very important piece that you did neglect here.
Okay.
Kishan goes to Rome and is like, look, we have to tell Soul that it is someone else's name, because some other name needs to be pitched for Soul in order for this to work. And Rome asks, okay, what name should it be? And Kishan specifically pitches Genevieve, which I don't know if this just wasn't obvious via the edit, but basically the only thing that we do know about Genevieve is that she is Rome's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes this whole thing a choice, but that is what prompts Genevieve to think, wait a second. Wait, why am I the decoy? Why did Kishan pitch me? Oh, he doesn't consider me a player. Whoops, Kishan, you've accidentally landed on the Canadian landmine of the season. You're fucked.
I mean, here's the thing. And I will go back to what I said at the beginning of this episode. If they would have just trusted Black women to begin with, Genevieve wouldn't have even been here at this moment. And we wouldn't have had this, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why am I the decoy here? And it would, But no. You, Kishan, and you, Teeny, was like, Asia doesn't want to work with us. She's not budging. We gotta let it go. And so Genevieve is put on her thinking cap. She said, hold on. Let me think about this.
Lana, oh my God.
She said, let me think about this. Kishan threw my name out for no reason at all. But I'm going to be the decoy. He's telling me that Rome is going to be the vote, but he's going to tell Saul that I'm the vote.
And who does this move benefit, really?
Who does this
I'm
benefit?
close with Rome.
Because Rome trusts me.
He's not going to hurt me.
You, on the other hand, might, if I get rid of Rome, he might. You come back. Yeah. So Genevieve said, hold on, Rome. Holla, let me holler at you. Let me come, let me holler at you. So, you the plan. And I'm like, excuse me, what? You're the plan. They're conspiring against you, and you're the plan tonight. And you're gonna vote out Saul, and they're gonna vote you out. You're the plan. You're muted, Logan.
Oh, I was saying the bitches are conspiring.
Yeah.
And the way they set this up too, with Genevieve, and then all of these crossfades of Kishan being like, Genevieve.
I'm in complete control. Like, I'm just here because
shady as hell.
So good.
Shady as hell.
So good. I would not be surprised if this is the episode they submit for an Emmy.
They should. I wouldn't be surprised. But baby, she was like, you're the plan. and they are playing you. They want you to put your votes on Saul so they can re-vote you out. And he's like, what? Are you serious? She's like, we gotta work. You need to patch some things up with Saul, and we need to work together. He's like, I can't do Saul. Can't do Saul. Can't do Saul. I'm not doing it. I need him gone. Blah blah blah. And she's like, oh, idiot. So she goes to Saul, and she's like, you need to patch things up with Rome. I know you don't like him, but for this vote and only, we need to be on the same page. And he's like, nope, can't do it.
Not doing it.
Nope, not doing. I can't stand Rome. Not doing Rome. I'm like, she's like, it's like working with a bunch of 6-year-olds. They're so annoying. Here's the thing: we get left off with Rome. He goes to apologize to Saul real quick, but then nothing. Saul, I don't think, believes him. But before they leave for tribal, we're left off with Rome and Saul both saying, nope, ain't no way I'm working with them. Not doing it. My plan is to go bring my plan. I'm voting him out, and that's it. And they go to tribal. So we have no idea what's about to happen at this tribal. And I loved it.
So good. So good.
Oh, I loved
and somehow in all of this, Teeny's name has not been brought up once. And with that, I'm good. I'm good for the
I'm
episode.
happy with
I'm
that.
happy.
And they don't even have a
I'm
vote.
happy.
They don't have a vote, but they ain't even up. So I'm like, ooh, wee. So we get to tribal, and they're talking about Rome and the challenge and how it happened and why they didn't swap out and what happened when they got back to camp and the chaos that ensued and all of this nonsense and back and forth. And Keyshawn is sitting there just happy as a lark. He is like, his last thing he told Teeny was, our names never even came up. We love this for us. We love it. And I'm like,
yeah, about that. Anyway, well, I mean, when you were talking to Teeny, you're correct about Teeny.
Right. But it was so wild. And they're talking, Rome is talking about how he's going to vote. Saul is talking about where his votes to go and how he plans to vote. Both of them think they're talking about each other. But Rome has an idea what he's going to do at this point. And he's listening to them talk. And so when Jeff says it's time to vote, he says, hold on, Jeff. I got this. I promised. I talked about this still a vote. We promised it. And I don't make idle threats, Jeff. I'm going to use this still a vote on Keyshawn. And Keyshawn said, what?
Huh?
His face dropped. He knows he is done. There is nothing he can do. He just has to sit and wait.
He said, what? So he sits down, and Rome sits down. And he just looks straight ahead, and Teeny like, what the hell? And he like,
and Saul is confused. Like, wait, what the fuck?
What?
Hold on. Wait. I
don't know.
Wait, I have my vote. No, wait, what? Wait,
I'm voting.
I get to go up and wait.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what. So Rome takes one glance over at Genevieve, and and she goes up to vote. And baby, I was like, oh
my God,
done. It is over for Keyshawn. And I was so, in that moment, I had 3 emotions. I was in awe. Mm-hmm. I was in shock. No, I was in awe. I was sad because of what was about to happen. But I was impressed at how it happened. And I was like, the savagery and the strategy that Genevieve just pulled out, because Rome was like, I only can trust one person in this game. And so I'm going to trust their word. And I'm taking Keyshawn's vote. And I was like,
and I'm gonna say this. It is a big old 1 episode shift for me. But Genevieve,
it's right here, girl. It's right.
I'm holding my stand card for you.
It's closer though.
We are all holding a stand card for you right now, girl. Because
Please don't fuck it up. Please don't fuck it up.
what you did in this moment, on this episode, with these 6-year-olds, I'm going to go ahead and pull this right out. She did what needed to be done.
Absolutely. Because with the vote, baby, she got out the target who she said was going to come for her, which was true. And the way she did it was savage. And baby, I could not have been more impressed.
I'm trying to think of a move in the new era of Survivor which has been as cold and as powerful as this.
I can think of it immediately.
And I don't have that good of a memory.
Kelly getting voted out.
That's fair. That is very fair. That as well. I think this is on that same level.
I would absolutely put it on the same level. It was calculated. It was brilliant. She is playing 4D chess right now when these babies are playing Chutes and Ladders.
Mm-hmm. They're playing sorry.
And I am impressed.
I am trying, just making it so that Rome, even though he is technically in control, Genevieve caused all of that. Genevieve just stole, essentially, Kishan's vote and used it to vote him out.
Yep.
And literally, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. That was...
And I love this move. I think it is so fun. But I am so sad that Kishan was on the receiving end of this.
Me too.
And I hate that now, for the second season in a row, the gay Indian has gone out fourth. For the second season in a row, the gay Indian has gotten voted out fourth. And I pray to God, Survivor, don't you dare cast a gay Indian on 48. Because if you did, I am going to be mad because they are going out fourth. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be angry at you, Survivor. Save it for 49. Thank you.
I was going to say, cast him on 48 and let him get fourth place at least.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, I think this is easily, the first part of the episode was rough, but the payoff, I do want to say this is probably the best episode of the season so far.
Oh, so far, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So far, yes. It was so good.
But this season, honestly, this season has been eating so far.
Oh, it has.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing what we have next time, there is a 2-team challenge of some sort.
Yeah.
We don't know what that means.
It's a twist.
There's a brand new twist. I am praying that it's not some bullshit. But
if one of my faves goes out because of some new twist bullshit, I'm going to be mad. But if it's a good twist, I'm going to appreciate it regardless. Am I mad at the overall first 4 boots of the season? Yes, I am disappointed and I'm very upset about it. Am I still absolutely loving the season? Absolutely. Love this season. And I can't wait to talk about it more next week.
Absolutely. And we're going to do that. We're going to talk about it next week. We got a lot ahead. I think this is shaping up to be a very, very, very good season. And we are enjoying it. So we hope you are enjoying us talk about it. And we'll be back next week to talk more about Survivor 47. In the meantime, before you get out of here, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, follow us on all of our socials at the Club Pod on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. You can follow all of our other channels. All those links will be in the description below, as well as our audio podcast links and our Patreon as well. And if you go down a little bit further, you can see the link to get your cup mug or merch or anything else. Go check out the Etsy shop at lanagcreations.etsy.com. Get any of our merch. And till next time, cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers.